Welcome to this week's edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host, Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. Now, folks, don't adjust your sets. You are not watching Talking Comics with Chris and Randy. This is indeed the Comic Hero Show. I'm just in the studio where they do their episodes. And I want to thank everyone at Excalibur Comics here in Shreveport, Louisiana for letting me do the episode here. This is episode 89. And as y'all can see, this is a Paris, France themed comic hero team. Let me get back from out here, and I'm going to let y'all look at this. This is, of course, this is the France national flag, and right here, this is the patch that I made for the Eiffel Tower. And then on the back is the Comic Hero logo along with the country of France. Now, for those of y'all who don't know, the city of Paris suffered. Wait a minute, let me move this. The city of Paris suffered a terrorist attack, and one thing about me, I'm very sympathetic to others. I always put others' needs in front of mine. So if you're watching this and you live in Paris, I'm keeping you in my thoughts and my prayers. Okay, I have a DC versus Marvel segment that y'all are going to enjoy. This one is quite magical. On the DC side, we have Zatanna. On the Marvel side, we have the Scarlet Witch. These two are going to duke it out in a segment I like to call DC versus Marvel. Hulk smash! Welcome to DC vs. Marvel. Today, it's Zatanna versus the Scarlet Witch. Zatanna is a skilled and powerful user of magic. The Scarlet Witch possesses probability manipulation, reality warping, and chaos magic. Who will win? There would be fighting in this bout, just magic. Zatanna would strike first by casting a few spells on the Scarlet Witch. The Scarlet Witch breaks half of them and blocks the other half. At this point, the latter figures out how the former's magic works. For those of you who don't know, Zatanna's magic works only when she says a word backwards. The Scarlet Witch conjures up a spell that causes Zatanna not to be able to use her magic when she says the word backwards, and finishes her off by turning her into a cow. The Scarlet Witch wins. And that concludes this DC versus Marvel fight. Well, I hope you enjoyed the DC versus Marvel segment. And if you have any requests for a DC versus Marvel fight, or any questions for the Any Questions segment, or anything that you think will help improve the show, contact info is down there. Now then, it's time for Comically Speaking, so without further ado, let's talk comics! Alright, I'm only going to talk about one thing today, and that's the conclusion of the Uncanny X-Men series that just ended for Marvel. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. What it was that all the members of the X-Men, on both sides really, all came together and decided to stage an intervention with the Beast. They felt that the Beast had really ruined a lot of things because, for bringing the 5 original X-Men to the present day. The way Beast wanted to do it, he wanted to do it because he felt that Cyclops was going to prevent mutant genocide, and so that's why he brought them. There was some good things about it. There were some bad things about it. The good thing about it is that Jean Grey ended up with some new powers that the now deceased Jean Grey that the recently deceased Jean Grey didn't have. And then she also forms a relationship with the Beast. When I mean the Beast, I mean the one of the 5 original X-Men, not the one that brought him to the present day. And then there were some other things. Cyclops got a chance to know his dad, and he ended up going off in space with him. But the intervention, of course, Beast didn't take responsibility for it. He kind of felt like he was being being pinned to a corner. So what does he do? He leaves the X-Men, which also explains why he is a member of the Inhumans. Because when I picked up the first issue of Inhumans, I'm thinking, why in the world is he with the Inhumans and not with the X-Men? Now I know. All right, that's it for Comically Speaking. And folks, I love doing the Comically Speaking segment. I love doing research on topics. I'm happy to bring them to you. But I can remember there was a time where some of y'all brought suggestions for me, and I would love for y'all to do that. So if you want to do that, also contact info is down there. All right, that's it for any questions. Now then, let's get to the comics I bought this week.
Comic books I bought this week.
Alright, first up is All New, All Different Avengers #1. This is, sorry folks, I had it, the studio is upstairs at Excalibur Comics, and I had to make a mad dash, to get the comics and then come back up here, but forgive me. But anyway, that's why I'm breathing so hard. But after this is the official first official issue of this series. Now there was a special Free Comic Book Day issue that came out 6 months ago, and it featured the artwork of Mahmoud Asrar. And it's written by Mark Waid, who is like a giant in comic book writing. And also it also features art by Adam Kubert. Now, this is an all new, all different Avengers roster. You have the Sam Wilson Captain America, the Dr. Jane Foster Thor, Tony Stark is Iron Man. Then you have the Miles Morales Spider-Man, then the Kamala Khan Ms. Marvel, the regular Vision, and Sam Alexander as Nova. And I think this is going to be a great book. Just about anything that Mark Waid has written, in the past 3 decades, has done very well. And then you team up both Adam Kubert and Mahmoud Asrar on one book. Exciting! All right, next up is Batman #46. This is the continuation of the new Batman story arc, where James Gordon is the new Batman, or Batman. He's in some robotic suit, and Bruce Wayne is no longer Batman, and he's been having to deal with being back in the public eye, and not necessarily for the right reasons, but it's a great book. I mean, yeah. All right, up next is Spider-Gwen #2. This is the new Spider-Gwen series for the all new, all different Marvel Universe. I've yet to read the first issue because I'm still trying to get caught up with other books. But this is Gwen Stacy. Well, this takes place in a parallel, or this is like a what if Earth. What if Gwen Stacy had gotten bitten by the radioactive spider instead of Peter Parker? And this is it. And she was also featured in the Spider-Verse story arc in the previous Amazing Spider-Man book, and also the Spider-Verse miniseries for Secret Wars. And since I got finished talking about, now since I'm on the subject of Secret Wars #7. This book, words can't describe how awesome this book is. This is a variant cover that has Cyclops on it. As a matter of fact, really, I don't know why it's on here, because Cyclops did die early on in Secret Wars. But there have been a lot of things going on. First off, the Future Foundation is off to find out who are the other survivors of the previous Marvel Universe, other than folks like Black Swan and all that. And getting crazy, folks. All right, up next is Thor's number 4. This is a tie-in to the Secret Wars miniseries. This is the conclusion of it. And in this issue, we find out who killed the Thor from the Ultimate Marvel Universe, as well as who killed Beta Ray Bill. And I've read the previous 3 issues. Holy cow, this book is amazing. All right, up next is Web Warriors number 1. This is a Spider-Man related book, and it features some of the characters that were in the Spider-Verse miniseries, which was a tie-in to Secret Wars. I mean, you have Anya, and then you have the Spider-Man from the Captain Britain Corps, and you have Spider-Man from India, then Spider-Gwen, and Spider-Man Noir. And then everybody's favorite, and my favorite ever since I was a small child, Spider-Ham. Alright, up next is Uncanny Avengers number 2. Now, I just read the first issue, and this book consists of Steve Rogers, Deadpool, Spider-Man, Quicksilver, Rogue, just to name a few. And in the first issue, Deadpool kills somebody that they're after, but this doesn't really bode well with Spider-Man, so Spider-Man quits. And oh, by the way, the Human Torch is in this one. If you're wondering which Human Torch, it's Johnny Storm. So Johnny Storm is a member of both the Uncanny Avengers and the Uncanny Inhumans. And then lastly, Ultimates number 1. This is an Avengers-related book. Now, keep in mind, the Ultimates were technically the ultimate version of the Avengers in Marvel's Ultimate line of books. But this one has a completely different lineup. I mean, there's the Blue Marvel, Captain Marvel, Miss America, Spectrum, and the Black Panther. And don't ask me why Galactus is on the front cover. Will he be a member of the Ultimates? Will he be a villain? I'll let you know in a future episode. All right, let's see here. That's 10 I bought, which brings the total number of comics I bought since December of 1997 to 7,030. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Comic Hero Show, and I enjoyed it myself. I mean, this is really a lot of fun doing it here in the studio. I mean, I'm an avid fan of the show, Talking Comics with Chris and Randy. They do just a great job on it. And hopefully hopefully they'll let me do it again. Right now, I'm having to do episodes of the Comic Hero Show at other places, since, Clint's Comics. Here's the state of Clint's Comics. For those of y'all who don't know, Clint Thomas passed away a month and a half ago, and the store's been run by his girlfriend, Renee Session. Well, she's been having a hard time and running the store. She hasn't been able to get any new comics in for a while. But here's what I want y'all to do. And I'm really talking to the folks in Monroe. Go over there, even if you're not going to buy comics, just go over there, leave a donation. Because the one thing about Clint's Comics, it's not just the cornerstone of Monroe life. It's the cornerstone of Northeast Louisiana life, and I believe it should remain open. I mean, I don't want to, but at the same time, I don't want to discourage anyone from coming to Excalibur Comics, because Excalibur Comics is home to me, because this is, like I said in last week's episode, this is the second comic book store that I've ever been to. But anyway, if you're watching this and you either are a resident of Paris, or you've been living in Paris your whole life, or you moved there, or anything like that, my thoughts and prayers are with you. This was such a very, very awful situation. I mean, we shouldn't have to live in terror. We shouldn't have to worry about being the victim of cowardly terrorist attacks. It shouldn't be that way. We should, wake up every morning, go out, enjoy ourselves, and not live in fear. Okay, anyway, I'm Victor Nunley. I'm the Comic Hero. I'll see you next time for episode 90. Till then, fais attention, sois béni, sois un hero. And for all my fellow Americans, that means be safe, be blessed, be a hero. Now, right after I left Excalibur Comics, I went to Second and Charles because I noticed there were some books that I wasn't able to find. And I found these 4 books. First up is Green Lantern number 46. This is part of the Renegade story arc that, Hal Jordan is no longer a Green Lantern and he's the most wanted person in space. And he teams up with Relic to go up against the Black Hand. Next up is Teen Titans number 13. Now, I'm still a little behind on this book, so as soon as I get caught up, I'll let you know what happens in a future episode. Next up is Batman and Robin Eternal number 6. This series talks about Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and Cassandra Cain all being on the list of this being called Mother. And they're trying to get a hold of Bruce Wayne, who's no longer Batman, by the way, to find out exactly what's going on. And also we learned that Bruce Wayne had also been hiding some more skeletons in the closet. Alright, finally, Back to the Future number 2. This is part of the new Back to the Future series that pretty much it pretty much explains a lot of things about the franchise. In terms of, like in the last issue, it talked about how Doc and Marty met 3 years before the first movie came out. And it also talked about how Doc's house burnt, the one that he lived in 1955 burnt down. And it also talked about when Doc was in college. Alright, that's 4 more I bought, which brings the total number of comics that I bought since December of 1997 to 7,034. Alright. See you next time for episode 90.